In the context of accelerating globalization, international transportation stands as a cornerstone of the global economy, facilitating the movement of goods and people across vast distances. However, this pivotal sector faces significant challenges due to its substantial energy consumption and the resultant greenhouse gas emissions. The reliance on fossil fuels in various modes of international transport, such as maritime, air, land, and rail, contributes heavily to global greenhouse gas emissions, which are a leading cause of climate change. Maritime transport alone, responsible for about 80% of global cargo movement, exemplifies the scale of the issue, with its reliance on heavy fuel oil leading to considerable carbon dioxide and other harmful emissions. The environmental impact is profound, driving climate change, disrupting ecosystems, and threatening both terrestrial and marine life. As we navigate through the intricacies of global energy consumption in international transportation, it is essential to examine the challenges and trends influencing this sector, including the transition to sustainable energy sources, economic viability, and regulatory landscape. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for developing effective strategy to mitigate the sector's environmental impact and move towards a more sustainable future.
Hi everyone, I'm Muslim, and today we will look at the issue of global energy consumption in international transport and its impact on the greenhouse gas emission. In today's world of accelerated globalization, international transport has become the lifeblood of the global economy. However, the rapid growth in this sector has also brought about a serious environmental challenge, in particular the issue of greenhouse gas emission, which is called GHG. The greenhouse gas emission GHG are one of the main causes of global climate change and international transportation as a major globalization energy consumer. It has a significant impact on GHG emission that cannot be ignored. Next we will explore the issue in detail. International transportation covers a variety of modes such as the sea, air, land, and rail transportation, all of which rely on a large quantity of fossil fuels such as the heavy oil, diesel fuel, and aviation kerosene. The combustion process of these fuels produce a large quantity of greenhouse gas such as the carbon dioxide CO2, CH4, and nitrous oxide N2O. Especially the maritime transport carry about 80% of the world cargo and is the main mode of international transportation. The ship typically use the heavy fuel oil as fuel, the combustion of which emit a large quantity of carbon dioxide, sulfur oxide, and nitrogen oxide. Despite its relatively low emission per unit of transport volume, maritime transport contributes significantly to the total global GHG emission due to its sheer size. The carbon dioxide is the most emitted greenhouse gas from international transportation, accounting for a major portion of total global greenhouse gas emission. These gases accumulate in the atmosphere, creating a greenhouse effect that gradually increases the global temperature, leading to frequent extreme weather events such as flood, drought, and hurricane. In addition, rising global temperature has led to the glacier melting and sea level rise, weakening the living environment of coastal areas. Also, the climate change due to the greenhouse gas emission also pose a serious threat to global ecosystem. Ocean acidification, coral reef degradation, species extinction, and disruption of ecological balance are among these problems caused by the climate change triggered by greenhouse gas emission. Ocean acidification in particular serve and directly threaten the survival of marine life, which in turn affect the entire marine ecosystem chain.
The second issue is international regulation. International transportation requires coordinated global effort to regulate energy consumption and emission due to its cross-border nature. However, achieving the uniform regulation is challenging because countries have varying national policy, economic priorities, and level of development. These divergences can lead to the regulatory gaps, where some regions are less regulated and undermining the global effort. Organizations like the International Maritime Organization and International Civil Aviation Organization have the established framework to reduce the emission, but achieving universal compliance is difficult. countries often face conflict between the economic growth and environment objectives, with developing nations sometimes resisting stringent regulation due to the potential impact on trade competitiveness. The third issue is carbon pricing and emission trading system. There are aims to reduce the greenhouse gas emission by making carbon emission more expensive, thereby encourage the cleaner energy use. However, implementing this system in international transportation is complex due to the global nature of the sector. Challenges include determining which countries should collect the carbon tax, avoiding the carbon leakage, where the companies shift operation to regions with the lower carbon cost, and ensuring the accurate emission tracking across the multiple jurisdictions. Additionally, there are equity concerns as developing countries may be disproportionately affected and may lack the resources to invest in the cleaner technology. Addressing these concerns may require financial assistance or technology transfer to ensure the fair implementation.
Besides that, there are numerous key challenges to the shift to sustainable energy source in international transportation. The transition to sustainable transportation is difficult due to the technological barriers, especially in shipping and aviation, where advances in electric propulsion, renewable energy, and alternative fuels are still being developed and are not yet widely used for the large-scale and long-distance operation. While new innovations have the potential to significantly reduce emission and encourage the sustainable use of natural resources, a lack of clean technology, adaptation issues, and poor performance limit this transition. For example, using high-quality fuels and adopting cleaner and more efficient transportation technology may boost vehicle efficiency while lowering environmental impact. However, government efforts have failed to sufficiently address the issue of a growing amount of passenger vehicles and the continuous use of low-quality fuel. To reduce the pollution, a transition to low-carbon fuel is required. Several alternatives, including biofuels, biogas, electric cars, and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, are now available or near commercial viability. However, the implementation is complicated by high production costs, a lack of raw resource, infrastructure issues, and negative public opinion. Providing appropriate information to policymakers and consumers is essential for the effective development of these new technologies. Moreover, the economic viability of implementing new green technology is a major concern, especially due to the high initial costs, which may be expensive for developing countries that lack the finance to make such investment. Green technologies are frequently expensive due to aging infrastructure in both developed and developing countries. Without sufficient infrastructure, it will be difficult to make the essential shift to sustainable transportation. Infrastructure such as highway and good network may be modernized to ensure successful deployment. Developing nations are particularly behind in this regard, as it requires significant investment and time to repair outdated infrastructure to satisfy the objective of sustainable mobility. As a result, government and financial institutions are less likely to commit to this initiative, particularly when the economy is in decline. To address this issue, transport policy should seek large-scale investment from the private sector. Lastly, regulatory and policy challenges make difficult the transition to sustainable transport, especially on an international scale, where different regulations and standards exist across various nations, making it difficult to establish a unified global framework for sustainable energy use. Low vehicle replacement rates and a reluctance to invest in cars with better emission requirements as a result of strong competitive during urbanization intensify issue in the freight industry. Higher taxes may generate market distortion, reducing the competitiveness of domestic carriers and complicating planning efforts. Some fear eroding present rules will reduce national competitiveness and diminish acceptance of new technology and service in the goods industry. Furthermore, there is confusion concerning the extent of public engagement with lawmakers, which raise concern about public support for the global change necessary for achieving sustainable transportation goals. This uncertainty is an important challenge for policymakers, as it is difficult to carry out required measures without substantial public support.
I'm going to talk about the trend of global energy consumption in international transportation. So the first trend to note is the rising energy demand in international transportation. This is largely driven by globalization and the growth of international trade. The movement of people and goods has grown dramatically over the past few decades, driven by vast growth in the purchasing power of individuals. As economies grow, particularly in developing regions like Asia, the demand for transportation services increases. More ships, planes, and trucks are required to move goods across the world, leading to a higher energy consumption. For instance, the maritime sector, which handles over 80% of global trade by volume, has seen a steady increase in fuel consumption over the past decades. And the graph indicates the global transportation-related energy demand is expected to grow by more than 30% from 2021 to 2050. The commercial transportation, including heavy-duty trucking, aviation, marine, and rail energy demand is led by growth in economic activity and personal buying power, which drives increasing trade of goods and services. And the aviation demand sees the highest compounded annual growth rate at about 3.5% from 2021 to 2050, benefiting from rising economic activity and the rapid growth of the middle class, specifically in emerging economies. The second trend is the shifts in energy sources. Today, more than 90% of energy used by transport modes is coming from the oil in form of gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and also liquefied petroleum gas, with a small participation of electricity, which powering ships, airplanes, and trucks. Some of the projections for the next 25 years are conservative about the consolidation of that distribution. However, there's a trend among the most developed states to incentivize the use of electricity in road transport, with the purpose of alleviating the local air quality problems in the big cities. Then the electricity share in transportation energy may soon become greater than the one predicted in present forecasts. Also, there's a growing interest in alternative fuels due to environmental concerns and regulations. Biofuels, liquefied natural gas, and hydrogen are emerging as potential alternatives. Although their adoption is still limited, we are seeing more investment and research in these areas, especially as the world seeks to reduce carbon emissions. Key environmental regulations are also a significant factor influencing energy consumption in international transportation. Here's a timeline of key environmental regulations that have impacted energy consumption in transportation. For example, the International Maritime Organization's 2020 regulation, which mandates a reduction in the sulfur content of marine fuels, has pushed the industry towards cleaner and low-sulfur fuels. Similarly, the global agreements like the Paris Agreement are putting pressure on the transportation sector to reduce its carbon footprint, leading to increased adoption of low-emission technologies and fuels.
The issue of global energy consumption in international transportation presents a complex and urgent challenge with far-reaching environmental implications. As the sector continues to expand with rising demand driven by globalization and economic growth, its heavy reliance on fossil fuels remains a significant contributor to greenhouse gas emission and climate change. The transition to sustainable energy sources, while promising, faces numerous hurdles, including technological limitation, high cost, and infrastructural deficiency, particularly in developing regions. The evolving regulatory landscape and increasing environmental regulations, such as the IMO sulfur cap and the Paris Agreement commitments, underscore the need for substantial changes in how international transportation operates. Moving forward, it's crucial to accelerate the adoption of cleaner technologies, enhance international cooperation on regulatory standards, and invest in infrastructure that supports sustainable practice. Addressing these challenges effectively will be vital for reducing the environmental footprint of international transportation and ensuring a resilient and sustainable future for global trade and mobility.